Welcome to another edition of Thoughts of the Round Table with me, Matt Rebar.
And me, Paul Laux.
And today it's going to be kind of a quick one.
A little power hour.
I know we usually like to get really intimate and, book a hotel room and put flowers on the bed for you guys.
But hey, at least it's not a month between episodes this time.
At least we're not on vacations that last for a month and...
Get addicted to life. But it's okay, we're back and we're going to be more consistent now.
Yeah.
I think that's a good promise.
So, Paul, you said you had a juicy story for me.
Yeah, so last week, and we should tease what we're going to do later today, though, because remember last episode we were talking about the meteor?
Yes.
I did get some answers.
Yes.
So we'll go into that in a little bit. But yes, funny story before. Man, it sounds like a mundane story.
Okay.
But it has a hilarious parts in it. So 2 years ago, I have a printer, okay?
Okay.
And it broke. All right.
Yeah.
Technology
breaks.
We all know how these things are. So, eventually I was like, you know what? I just need. It's one of those things in the back of your head, like an email that you didn't respond to. Mm-hmm. Like I need to get this thing fixed. So over the weekend, over Labor Day weekend, somehow I don't know why I got this bug in my head. I was like, I need to fix this thing. Mm-hmm. Basically, it wasn't printing black. Long story short. So I Google all these things online. It's like you gotta fix the printer heads. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So I found out that you have to get little hoses and syringes from Epson and tie them to the print heads and flush them out. I don't know how to get these because it's a relatively old printer. So I go on Amazon and one of the first things, I just got Prime on my account. The first thing I get is all these syringes and tubes.
They're going to think you're dealing drugs or taking drugs.
And this liquid that's it's a solution of sorts.
Like the heroin for printers.
Yes. And so because it's Prime, of course, it's somebody in a freaking Astra van who comes up to you. So this person, I'm outside at the time. They drive up in this Astra van and just hand me these saran wrap tubes and syringes.
And they were like, here's your syringes, sir.
No, that was the most uncomfortable meeting ever. Just syringes and tubes. I'm like...
do they know it's syringes? Is it they're
it was it was shrink wrapped. It was and then tubing.
What do you think they when some people order delicate things? Do you think they hide sex toys?
No, not at all.
Really?
Long story short, with what happened to my friends at college, we thought it would be hilarious to on my buddy's birthday find the biggest dildo we could find online.
Oh no!
We found one that was 18 inches, and
my Lord.
We mailed it to his dorm. It literally just came saran wrapped.
There's no guessing.
There was
you knew what it was.
You could see the veins and everything.
Oh my god!
Nuts. No,
you think that they'd be certain things? They'd be let's wrap this up.
No discretion at all. Amazon. So. And I thought it would at least come in an Epson box.
Yeah.
Say no. It's just literally just tubes and syringes.
Yeah.
So then 20 minutes later, I'm in rubber gloves up to my elbows.
In the printer?
In the printer. Cleaning these things out. And one of the printer heads exploded off because it was so clogged with black ink.
Wow.
Long story short, I got it finished. But it looked like I was at a freaking Breaking Bad.
Making your little
syringes and solutions.
Wow.
So yeah, that was literally 5 minutes ago.
I need to know what are the weirdest things Amazon when they've dropped stuff up. What's the weirdest things that they've dropped off?
Would you ever
combinations even?
I would want to be an Amazon driver almost just to see the
just
thing.
I'll wait a week.
Yeah.
Can I hey Amazon, call me? I'll do it for a week just to see and people study.
I used to work at a grocery store, and to this day I don't know if this guy was trolling or not, but he it was late at night, and he had 3 things in his basket that there's plenty of self checkouts, but of course he goes through my lane.
Yeah.
He had wine, a box of condoms, and a USB drive.
One of these things is not the other.
I was like, wait a minute.
Here's the thing. Okay, you have to back up your files. Pour a glass of wine. You want to get kinky with those condoms? Pour a glass of wine.
Yeah.
You need to the condoms and USB doesn't work together, but all 3 together, that's...
Paints quite the night, doesn't it?
He was like, hey, baby, I'm going to go get us some stuff. And then it was like, oh, my God, I haven't backed up my iTunes library.
What if he all just needed those independently? It just happened to be at the wrong time. Yeah. He had to get a USB drive because his one at work broke. And he had a hard week at work, so he got a bottle of wine. And then he just needed to restock on condoms for whatever reason.
He's like, well, my significant other's coming over tonight, so I better get prepared.
Oh, man. To this day, I don't know.
What kind of wine, though? That's the question. Do you remember?
One of those cheap $9 wines? Those are the best.
Cheap $9 wine. Cheap is like $3 or $4 wine.
Yeah, I won't go that.
Like a nice oak trees at Walmart.
I won't go.
That's the Walmart signature brand, oak trees.
Cheap wine is the best, man. Never pay over $12. That's my rule.
I was gonna say never pay over $9. Honestly,
$9.99.
Barefoot,
like usually,
the barefoot price is like
barefoot's a little sweet for me.
I
sweet
like
for
it
me.
sweet. I'm a sweet fan. But so last week we talked about what would happen if a meteor, like if we knew in a decade that a meteor was going to hit,
and there's no way to stop it.
And there's no way to stop it. Apparently, like even though Colby came over, she ran over to hug me.
She's our little mascot.
She was like, "Oh, I don't want you to be gone in 10 years. Don't worry." We asked, "What would you do in that decade?"
Yeah, so when I asked a lot of my friends about this, and I think the thing that pisses me off the most is that none of them can follow directions. In the fact that I preface it all to all of them with the fact that like we're not going to stop this. You can't stop this.
No, I mean the first thing I thought of was like loophole city. I mean,
right. But
any hypothetical, you're like loophole.
But then like literally half my friends are like, "Oh, we developed something to stop it." I'm like, man, it's not. And then they went on to some weird thing with Trump and economics, and I gave up.
And you're like, the point is, what would you do?
But what did surprise me is a lot of my friends who said they would change literally nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like they would just continue their lives as normal, and which I think I would hope I would do.
Yeah, I think most people that I talk to kind of had this thing, we feel like everyone's going to be normal. It's going to be like, we're just going to continue on.
Right.
And so I'll continue on. Even though I'm still kind of a fan of the theory that like everything just goes to chaos. It's just like everyone's screaming fire.
I feel like it would.
Yeah.
But I know I don't have enough money to quit my job and live off my savings for the next 10 years. So I'm going to have to do something.
I mean, you'd probably be foraging. Did you get any other responses, though, besides, like, normal? Did anyone say anything, like, off the wall?
I asked my mom.
Remember, we're a Mom loves moms love our podcast.
Moms love this podcast.
Mom approved.
And she just said she would, like... She gave some really weird, dark answer about...
she's, like, baking cookies.
The weirdest thing
hi,
about it is...
sweetie.
My mom gave the darkest answer out of everybody. And that she would just basically just, like, hermit herself. Like,
that's kind of what I said a little bit. I said I mind hermit.
Yeah, well, what's fun in that, though?
I don't know. It's, like, very existential. It's very, like, Henry David Thoreau with, like, I walked into the woods and I never came back. You know?
All right, we'll still need those responses. I'm Chops Radio. If you want to send to us.
Reapstar, H-R-I-B-S-T-A-R, because I can't have anything easy in life. Well, shall we get to Not the News with you, Paul? What's not the news?
Let's move on to your advice. I want to do your advice.
You just want to go into advice?
Yeah.
This is going to be a cute little short episode, and I'm a fan of it. Okay, AskManager.org, my favorite. The topic is office parties where the destination/activity is a secret. So basically...
Destination? I've never had a destination party.
Well, listen in. Right now, I've been invited to an annual party. All I know is that the buses will leave the office at 4 to a secret location, and they'll be back at 11. Parking's
What office is this? Sorry, I'm just amused.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
you have a lot of questions. Parking's apparently very limited. There's no public transportation. We're all encouraged to take this bus. But other than the fact that there's going to be a dinner, I have no idea what's happening. But this is so annoying. I like to know what I'm opting into before I do it. So for this party, I've opted out. Do you think that people actually like these surprise parties, or am I right in thinking this is a bad practice? Now, I love Ask a Manager. She gave the best advice. She goes, ultimately, office parties shouldn't be stressful, and because office parties are supposed to be about building camaraderie and like well-being. Yeah, I know. I
said commodity.
That's actually after you build a commodity after the office party. You're like, we need to work finally. So, like, basically, Ask a Manager's like, listen, that's stressful and annoying. It's a long time. It's 6 hours. You don't know what you're doing. And you shouldn't have a destination. If it's like there's no parking and there's no public transportation, where are they going? In the middle of the woods somewhere?
Like, if this was my friend group, like, we were all hanging out and said, hey, I don't know, whoever organized said something like that. That would be kind of fun, whatever. But for a work thing, like, work parties aren't that fun anyway. Yeah. And then who wants to do this?
I think it annoys me because I agree with you. If you were like, hey, block off Saturday night, I got a fun surprise. I'd be like, okay.
I'd be hell yeah, that would be great. Cool.
But like work party, like what's the best thing that's gonna happen?
Where are you gonna go?
Karen gets drunk off 2 spritzers.
You probably don't like half the people there.
Oh my god, I can't. I don't want to put this on the record, but if there was an office party, I would be worried. Like that was a secret 6 hours. That's scary. Because first of all, you don't know who's going. Because, people are like, oh, I'm going, and then they don't go, right?
Yeah.
But then you're, like, forced to be there the whole time. It's not like you have the
autonomy
autonomy to leave. It's like, you're there 4 to 11.
It's like a field trip you don't want to go on when you're in,
I mean,
Middle school.
if it turns out they're like, oh shit, like we're going this location and I've always wanted to go to this museum or this
Going to
restaurant.
Cabo.
Yeah. We're going to Mexico and back in 6 hours. That would be cool, but I don't know. So I would say office parties with like a surprise destination.
I'd probably skip on that one.
I say thumbs down in this situation.
Yeah.
Unless they told you where it is and they're like, there's going to be a surprise at the event and you can drive there.
That's different.
Fine.
Or if the world's ending in 10 years, then what do you got to lose?
If the world's ending in 10 years, go on that trip. You know, you deserve it. All right, this one is so frustrating, Paul. I
Breathe it out.
I can't even speak. Dear Abby, should I invite my son's lower class friends to our upper class house?
Say that one more time.
Yeah. Should I, as a parent, invite my son's lower class friends to our upper class home?
I'm confused by what she means by lower class and upper class.
Let me explain this. You'll get it. My 13-year-old son plays on a local travel sports team. Many of his teammates could be considered lower class or lower middle class.
Oh, so she means legit class.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we live in a luxurious home. We don't flaunt it and we're not snobbish, except for in this article that she writes in.
Since when?
Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, we don't brag about our house. And meanwhile, the first sentence is like, yeah, his teammates are trash. Like, that frustrates me. But anyway, just moving along.
This is what gets your house egged.
This is... This is when you know that you're like
this is when people
calling people at the park, like,
Yeah.
do they have a permit for that barbecue? This is that kind of
This is
behavior.
when people take a crap on your front porch. Like, honestly.
Oh my god, this whole thing is like literally if 13 Reasons Why was a person, it'd be this article. My son invited a few of his teammates over. It was clear that they had never seen a home like ours. Okay.
What makes her say that?
Okay. Like, do you live in the Taj Mahal? Like, where are you living? That like, it's clear they've never
This bitch
seen...
got 5 bedrooms.
She's like, they've never seen a dishwasher. They've never seen, you know, a beautiful open construct in the living room. Like, what do you have at your house that like these kids will walk in?
I'd want to be invited over this house just so I can tip over a $10 million olive jar.
I know, right? Here we go. The teammates, these poor teammates, behaved like perfect.
Why does she think they're poor, first of all?
She just says, could be considered. And you know what I hate about that? She says, could be considered lower class. You know she considers them.
Yeah,
she's not
she
saying
does.
like, oh, like maybe, I don't know. She's definitely,
she
she's
does.
trying to say it in a way where it's like they are, but like, I want to see me. Yeah. Continue. They behaved like perfect gentlemen. But my mother suggested that it would be, so I guess the grandma or something. My mother suggested that it would be better not to invite the lower class boys over again because it's not fair to them. Her concern is that it might make them feel bad because they have much less than we do. And while I understand my mother's point of view, I also think it can be beneficial for them to see what the possibilities are in the world if you work hard and are successful.
What the hell?
Right? Like that sentence started off really good. It was like, great. Like you're like, no, I think it's not a big deal because...
This is the worst. This woman needs to be canceled.
This is like canceled city. Are you ready for this awkward statement? She says, perhaps...
we haven't already reached that?
Right. Perhaps it will inspire these lower poor class people to do better in school or go to college. Because seeing their home is going to inspire them to do better in school and go to college.
We don't have time for this kind of stuff, man. We're going to need another episode for this one.
Ready?
What does she say? I want to know what she said.
And then it says, of course, the primary purpose for their coming over was just for friends to spend time together and have fun. What do you think of these potential unintended consequences, which there are none? Abby just goes, listen.
Did she call her a bitch? I hope she called her a bitch.
Abby does a good job of being like slapping some, faces without like, you don't feel like she's being mean to you, right? I disagree with your mother. If your son and his teammates enjoy being together in addition to the time they spend doing their sports, they should be allowed that pleasure. And your home just might be the most logical place to host these gatherings because it's large enough to accommodate the whole team.
You think?
Because they come from a lower income doesn't mean they can't forge meaningful and lasting friendships with your son. And many successful individuals weren't born with the proverbial silver spoon in their mouths. And many successful individuals did not attend college. They went to trade and tech schools and provide themselves and their families with very comfortable lifestyles. And I was like, thank you, Abby. Thank you for addressing all those cans of worms.
She's still not going to invite the kids over, though.
The audacity, it's like she's assuming that these kids are, like, poor. Like,
right.
hey.
We've all met people like this,
and then she goes ahead and was like, oh, we're not snobbish. While acting snobby. Then goes ahead to be like, oh, they behaved great. then goes, well, my mom thinks, and I get this is the mom's concern, but she's legitimately taking the mom's advice almost. Because she's writing to Dear Abby.
Right.
So she's thinking, okay, maybe
Well,
my mom's right.
you know, she had some of these mentalities stuck in her head already when she's like, when she's talking about inspiring people to, and then,
that's the worst thing is like the concept of like, okay, they can't just come over and play overnight, Night Watch. What's that game?
What?
Overwatch? Is that the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Overwatch and what's the other one? Play Night. Fortnite. There we go.
Could you never talk about video games again, honestly?
Suddenly our video game podcast is canceled. You know, instead of just coming over to play Overwatch and Fortnite.
Did you call it Night Fort? I still can't get over that.
It's been a long day, in case you can't tell. You know, instead of being able to play these video games and like eat chips and like, I don't know, what do teenage boys do? What do straight teenage boys do when they hang out in high school?
I was gonna say something, but it was probably gonna be censored.
Whatever teenage boys on the football team do, whatever. Like, instead of just hanging out, it has to be inspirational. It has to help them do better in school. Or the idea of like, oh, well, because of our, tile and our veranda, these kids are going to go to college.
If I knew that she considered me lower class and I got invited over there, I would take the biggest dump in her pool. Like, seriously.
I'd be like, y'all got some, got some
king
fresh
size
food,
Snickers
y'all.
floating in there. She's going to have to clean the whole thing out.
I mean, it makes sense because.
I mean, that's what happens to people like that, though. What did she do to get all the money? Because I'm kind of curious. You know
what's funny? Actually, it's the person who wrote the article. It's Sports Dad in the South, so it's actually a guy speaking.
This is a guy.
But let's be real. He's
Why
acting
did we
like a real
assume it was
queen.
a woman the whole time?
Because I don't know, but he's acting like a real queen, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it doesn't matter even what gender or who you're from. It's just this idea that like you think your house is this magical place that like is gonna fix kids to be better.
It's like he owns Neverland Ranch or something, you know?
No. Dear Abby, I own Neverland Ranch.
But I mean, seriously. And we've all met people like this.
What would you rather do? Spend 7 hours...
I don't like where this is going.
Spend 7 hours on a mysterious office party that you're bussed to and from and can't get out. Or attend this person's home for an hour.
Do I know this person said these comments?
Yes. This is like the person from this article.
Who
wants you to be inspirational.
I would go to the party for sure. I'd never be invited. No, not the office party. The person's house.
The
I'd never
party?
be invited back.
Yeah.
If I knew that they had said that, oh yeah.
They'd be like, well, does this inspire you to go to college? And you're like, I have a master's. They're like, well, are you inspired to be rich?
I would just constantly one-up them on knowledge or totally destroy their house.
Offense, this seems like the family that's like, if you work hard, because look, it's like, see what the possibilities are in the world if you work hard and are successful. This seems like the kind of people who think that like, if you work hard, you'll be
sounds
rich.
very entitled.
It's not like, I feel like these are the people that like, people are like, this article gives me like that, oh, poor people are poor for a reason.
I work very hard. I have a little ranch house. That's all I need.
I love your ranch house. This is a perfect house.
Even though my dog yaps sometimes.
You know what I was thinking of getting? This is going to end on a weird note. Like down the line, not right now.
House?
Because, well, one of those mini house cabins.
Like a tiny house?
Yeah.
Like the one on wheels you can drag around?
Yeah, but not like a nasty like RV, because RVs look like
but no, like a legit tiny
RVs.
house.
But yeah, like a cute little cabin.
Do you know those things cost more than like my standalone house?
Yeah, but like then I can transport it wherever I want.
Where are you gonna go? You're in Ohio.
That's the thing. Maybe I don't want to be in Ohio. Maybe me and my tiny house are gonna go.
Wait, where? Where are you gonna go?
I don't know. I got 10 years till the bomb drops. I mean the meteor.
You're not gonna take it anywhere.
Maybe I want to play.
You're just gonna live in people's backyards.
Which, to be fair, would be fun. I would have fun.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll believe.
Come on, it'd be fun for me to be in the backyard for 3 months. Oh, okay.
What I feel bad is when I see that like tiny house whatever shows, and they got like 2 teenagers.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, man.
I just I was thinking of it, but I don't know. You know me. I go through a lot of thoughts. Like last week,
What are you gonna do? Pull it with your little Mitsubishi Eclipse?
Hey, my Mitsubishi is cute, and I have to drive to Ashland tonight, and I know that it's gonna have great gas mileage. So.
It's got 2 doors. You think it can haul a house?
It has 4 doors. What are you talking about? You haven't even seen my car, apparently. Well, this was a great smaller edition.
Still pretty good though.
Table. I mean, 20 minutes of excellent quality.
Hey, better than nothing, right?
Exactly. Until next time.
I'm Paul Laux, aka Chops Radio on Twitter.
And I'm Matt Rebar on Twitter, HRIBSTAR, Reebstar. Peace out.
Later.